You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Kaleidoscope Paint celebrated its official relaunch in Jamaica at the Crew Bar in Kingston, and Business Access TV was there to bring you all the highlights. Stay tuned.
To the management team from KPL Group, the parent company for Kaleidoscope Paints Trinidad, Mr. Mahindra Deval Singh, the export manager, and I'll also take the opportunity to extend the sincerest apologies on behalf of Dale Parson, the CEO of KPL Group. He could not be here, but of course, he certainly hopes that everyone has a fantastic launch. To the reps from Matalon Distributors, in particular, Andrew Matalon, CEO, Nicole Masters, the marketing manager, the management team from Matalon Homes, the management team from Tankweld, specially invited guests from the real estate, the building, and the construction industry. I also noticed that we have some interior decorators here as well. Friends of the media, all. Good afternoon. My name is Terry Carroll, and I have the pleasure of being your host this afternoon for the Kaleidoscope Paints Limited media launch. And I'll be very honest with you, it's not just another Sunday, and we're not just launching another product. But thank you so very much for being here. Now, the reason why this is very timely, and the reason why this launch is very relevant is because, one, Jamaicans like to spruce up them place, especially at Christmas time. Everyone knows this. Even if you weren't planning on painting, once you start to see the festivities and the vibrancy, you say, all right, you have to at least spruce up some area in your place. Number two, we have seen the development that is taking place in Jamaica. On every corner, on every street, we see the development, the construction industry doing very well, which means that wherever we have building construction, we clearly need paint. And another thing that makes this so beautiful is because Jamaicans, we are known for supporting and loving family-owned businesses. And this is one of them. Now, for those of you who may not know, Kaleidoscope is a top quality paint that will sell itself once customers start to use it. They're celebrating over 48 years of being a leader, not just in the Caribbean, but in South America. The person who's probably best to speak about this product is Mr. Mahindra Deval Singh, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly, the export manager from the KPL Group. Please make him welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here to help to reintroduce Kaleidoscope Paints to the Jamaica market. This really feels like we are coming back home, as we were strong players in this market for about 6 years, but exited when our distributors at the time, Facey Commodity, changed ownership from the Matalon Group. So it's more than fortuitous that we are back with the Matalons, with whom we have had so much success in the past. Both our companies share similar values and hold our corporate family culture close to our strategic alliances. We believe that our partnership with Matalon Distributors could not have come at a more opportune time, as it will allow us to effectively represent our brand with an organization that is well respected and long established in Jamaica. This alliance with Matalon Distributors has also created an avenue for us to share our technology with the Tankwell Metals Group, of which Matalon Distributors is a subsidiary. And on behalf of the KPL board in Trinidad, I have to say a special thank you to Mr. Peter Matalon and to Mr. Chris Bicknell, Group CEO and Chairman of Tankwell Metals, for giving us this opportunity. Today is a launchpad for the re-establishment of the KPL Group through our high-quality products as a household name in Jamaica. This year, Kaleidoscope Paints celebrates 48 years of being a leader in the Caribbean paints industry. Our mission is to be recognized as a world-class family-owned company in the Caribbean and South America, recognized for manufacturing high-quality products and services while providing personalized business relationships, customer satisfaction, employee motivation, and shareholders' value. Our core values emanate from our mission and is entwined in our business operations. We are family-oriented and seek to cultivate partnerships with our customers as opposed to mere business transactions. KPL's brand is well established throughout the CARICOM territories and some South American countries. 4 decades of Kaleidoscope's history have taught us what's important to our customers. We have not only responded to their need for beauty, color, performance, and durability, we keep surpassing expectations with new, innovative, and high-quality products that continue to be winners. In technical evaluations against top leading competitors, over the past 5 years, Kaleidoscope has been the standout winner in the following categories, which are key essentials for the Caribbean consumers and contractors. We are the best in whiteness, most brilliant white, the whitest white. Opacity, best coverage, ability, and obliteration properties. Gloss, highest sheen. Scrubbability, which is durability, longevity, power to withstand exposure to the Caribbean elements. Viscosity and alkalinity, rated number 1. But that's in Trinidad, and Trinidad is half the population of that of Jamaica. And we hope that our renewed presence in the Jamaica market can contribute towards propelling our brand to even greater heights. We will be bringing to you in Jamaica our best-in-class, quality, price, and multi-products in paints and finishes. Because if you need to paint it, we can cover it. We are so excited to be back in Jamaica, and thank you so much for being here today. I thank you all.
Thank you for that. As I was listening to him, he spoke about beauty, color, performance, durability, and the fact that they listen to their customers, they have good relationships with them, they adjust, they innovate, and of course, they deliver. So we welcome you with open arms to Jamaica and to the Jamaican market once more. Now, whenever I hear about Matalons, I think rich. Real Tanta rich. In terms of quality, professionalism, customer service, and what they do. From Matalon Homes to Matalon Roofing to Matalon Distributors, they are everywhere, and they've done very well and expanded very well because what they do is they deliver quality. Therefore, as the distributors of Kaleidoscope Paints, it makes sense for me to introduce Andrew Matalon, who is going to bring the key message this afternoon. Please make him welcome.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us on this special occasion, the launch, or should I say, the relaunch of Kaleidoscope Paints here in Jamaica. We actually have a history with Kaleidoscope Paints when our family-owned Facey Commodity, who were the local distributors of the brand in Jamaica. So when they decided to come back to the country, it was a natural that they also came home to us, so to speak. A new alliance with Matalon Distributors has been forged. We are certain that as soon as Jamaicans are reintroduced to the top quality Kaleidoscope Paint brand, they will fall in love once again. Kaleidoscope Paints is a household name in Trinidad and Tobago, where they were founded over 40 years ago. Today, they have spread their brand to cover 15 Caribbean countries. They pride themselves on being leaders in the paints and coatings field by constantly innovating, continuously improving their quality, and always giving the customers what they need, which are beautiful paint colors with exquisite finishes and time-tested durability. These claims are not made without warrant. The technical evaluations shows that this is who they are. Over the past 5 years, Kaleidoscope has come out on top against the other leading competitors as #1 in whiteness, opacity, gloss, scrubbability, viscosity, and alkalinity. The brand is renowned for its wide range of vibrant colors, best coverage, top qualities of paints, stains, varnishes, and other finishes for the home, industrial, marine, and automotive sectors. From contractor to the household painter, together we have the brand that offers you the best value by far. Since we are in the midst of a construction boom, this is an opportune time for Kaleidoscope to be re-entering the Jamaican market. From residential and commercial developments to hotels, the new face of Jamaica is under construction, and that is evident everywhere that you look. We don't expect this boom to slow down anytime soon, and that's why we at Madelon Distributors plan to be an integral player with Kaleidoscope Paints in coloring and covering it all. We are so confident in this brand that we decided to pave the way ourselves. Kaleidoscope Paint will be on all future Madelon Homes projects, which are known for our high quality finishes and designs. We feel this is a statement which shows our customers that we practice what we preach. The future is certainly bright and colorful with Kaleidoscope Paints and Madelon Distributors. Over the next year, we are planning to employ at least 20 members of staff to grow alongside the brand. We see the scope of our partnership allowing for us to take on the manufacturing of the paints here at our head office here in Jamaica. We look forward to the future and a long-lasting relationship with Dale and the rest of the Kaleidoscope team. So again, thank you for coming, and let's begin to paint Jamaica in a kaleidoscope of colors.
Very well said. The future is colorful and bright. And again, he brought home the point that there is a construction boom, and certainly practicing what you preach sends a very clear message to customers. So I look forward to seeing what the future Madelon Homes look like, and with the colors covering all of the walls. He says that this is the best value by far, and I think when I looked at your swatches, I believe I'm really in love with Cool Olive. I think that color definitely caught my eye. On behalf of all of us here, we thank you for coming back home, of course, associating and aligning with Madelon Distributors, and we wish you all the best in the Jamaican market. Have a great week ahead. Thank you, guys. Take care.
M&A Strategy and Advisory. Are you planning for a merger or acquisition? M&A transaction. The decision to embark upon an M&A transaction is not one to be taken lightly. Whether pursuing a merger or acquisition, or considering a disposal or divestiture, the complexities of an M&A transaction require careful planning and execution. Clients can depend on our specialist teams to lead or support transactions requiring specific expertise on issues including business modeling, fast-track M&A, economic consulting, and government public sector advice. With deep experience, knowledge, and tools, Dodge & Global can meet stakeholder targets and expectations. Dodge & Global consulting teams can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Kaleidoscope Paints is relaunching here in Jamaica. What's the significance of you guys coming back to Jamaica?
Well, what happened back in the 80s and 90s when we were with Facey Commodity, we did quite well in this market. The paints, the product, the brand name was well accepted. It took us a while, but what happened is we got an opportunity to go back or to come back again into the market with the Matalan family business. We realized that a lot of people do recognize the name from back then. Everybody knows Facey Commodity was a strong company then, and we are extremely happy to actually come back with the very Matalan group, Tanquils Metals Limited, strong, long-established companies in Jamaica, similar to Kaleidoscope Paints in Trinidad. We share similar values, and we found, hey, this looks like a good partnership, let's do it. And this is what we are doing, really.
As you mentioned, Kaleidoscope Paints is based in Trinidad. Talk to us a little bit about Kaleidoscope Paints. You've been around for almost 50 years. Just give us a brief overview of the company.
Okay, sure. So Kaleidoscope Paints was founded by the late Stephen Parson. Mr. Parson, history, was working in the paint industry in Trinidad. He initially worked with a company called British Paints, which of course was an English company. British Paints was bought over by Berger Paints somewhere back in the 60s. When that happened, Mr. Parson was a pretty senior executive up to that time, and what he decided then was it was time for him to go and form his own paint company, because he had a long number of years and great experience with the British Paints company in particular. So that gave rise to, in 1972, Kaleidoscope Paints Limited became a registered company. They started manufacturing, and it has been a long road full of challenges, but also full of triumphs. The brand name is now a household name in Trinidad and the CARICOM region generally. We sell to a few markets in the Latin American and South American countries. It is our intention to take the brand international by moving out firstly to the other Spanish-speaking territories in the Caribbean. And Jamaica, not being in Jamaica, having been in Jamaica before, it was a natural step that we must re-establish our ties in the Jamaican economy before we attempt to stretch ourselves further.
What makes Kaleidoscope Paints a standout brand on the market?
Their quality and engineering that they go through regularly. They're tested and rated for a whole host of different awards against top competitors. They've made a name for themselves throughout the Caribbean, and in Jamaica is going to be their next big step.
Matalan Distributors is the official distributor of Kaleidoscope Paints here in Jamaica. What's the significance of the brand coming back to Jamaica?
Kaleidoscope Paints is known for their quality, high-end products, which is something that is associated with all of the products that we currently distribute, such as roofing, our housing developments on the Matalan Home side. Kaleidoscope falls into place with all of the stuff that we do right now.
And what can consumers expect from Kaleidoscope Paints?
We're coming here, and we're going to be here for the long run. We're coming big. The quality, everything that they have, the product speaks for itself. There's no doubt in that. We've tested it, we've gone through all of that, and we're actually using it on all of our Matalan Homes developments. That in itself is a statement, because we're known for high quality, high-end residential developments. So the fact that we're using it, we practice what we preach.
Kaleidoscope Paints has officially launched today. What are you most excited about being here in Jamaica?
I'm most excited that, one, it's a family-owned company, and because it's a family-owned company, we basically look to family values. So we look at the impact of when people are owning a home and how dear their home is to them. So we look at quality, we look at affordability, we look at scent, everything that goes into painting.
We know there are several paint brands on the market, but what makes you stand out the most?
We have variety and we have affordability. And I think that is the most important thing. And we are accessible. You know, sometimes some companies get so big, you know, their customers are oftentimes alienated, but that's not the case. We go directly to our consumers, and they can expect that from Kaleidoscope at all times.
Do you have anything that people can look forward to in terms of getting the brand out there?
Of course, we'll constantly be doing promotions. We will be doing a lot of charity events. We really want people to benefit, the Jamaican people to benefit from this product in all aspects.
What's your take on the brand so far?
Actually, I'm very excited. I'm happy to see that they're back in Jamaica. I'm excited to sample a few of their products. I'm actually very excited because they spoke to the fact that they've won awards for durability and scrubbability. The whitest white. I'm looking forward to actually trying their white colors because, you know, white and bright is kind of very popular now. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And then the colors that based on what I'm seeing, are actually quite beautiful. Very tropical almost, but subtle. So very excited.
As an interior decorator, from your stance, how do you think Jamaicans will accept this brand, basically?
I think they will. I think they'll accept it. As decorators, it's our responsibility to actually push the product. It's from the region, so that's very good. I really like to support and build local, and by local, I mean the local region, at least in this case. So I think they will. The colors are beautiful. I can't imagine that people won't love the colors. I think they'll do really well because they actually really have some very, very nice colors. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite colors that you've seen so far?
I actually love Regatta Blue. I love Cool Olive. And there's Icicle and Spice. Oh my gosh, and there's one other beautiful Blossom. Blossom and Clay Pot are also some beautiful colors. Yeah.
We came together with Matalon Roofing to distribute paints within Jamaica. We formed the company Matalon Distributors, which will be distributing paints island-wide. And it's a wonderful opportunity for the Jamaican market, as it's another opportunity for them to diversify in terms of different products from another company. There are several paint companies locally, however, we're not worried about that, however, because Tankwell is a successful company in Jamaica, as well as Matalon Roofing rather, and Matalon Homes. And this partnership together, I believe, will do very well in Jamaica, as Matalon and Tankwell are household names, and Kaleidoscope was here before, and it came back in the island, and I believe that it's going to be another big thing for Tankwell, as we are launching out into other areas. We are now in trucking. We sell a wide range of hardware products island-wide. So this is a great opportunity with all the different developments that are taking place island-wide in terms of housing and in terms of hotels and so on. So it's a great opportunity for the island to have another company that is going to have competitive prices and brilliant colors and great quality and great service. And that's what we are here to do.
Thanks for tuning in to the official relaunch of Kaleidoscope Paint in Jamaica. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Dorgan Global Regulatory and Compliance Services. The regulatory framework is always changing, making this environment increasingly complex and confusing for businesses. Regulations as national, international and supranational levels are being issued, amended or expanded, which sometimes makes it hard to navigate through the maze of orders, decrees, guidelines and circulars. This is not helped by the fact that businesses also need to assess the potential effects of future regulations. Dorgan Global professionals can help you manage compliance risks and operational essential to achieving lasting business success today, as compliance breaches can cause considerable damage, which may even put the future of a company at risk. Dorgan Global can help you make smarter, more effective decisions regarding regulatory and compliance matters. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dorgan.global, website www.dorgan.global.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
I wanted to be an educator because I believe that education is the most powerful weapon that can change the world.
My dreams and aspiration is to one day become an entrepreneur where I can employ other persons and help to build the country.
I wanted to go into development. I wanted to help people become better versions of themselves. Growing up, I saw a lot of violence, I saw a lot of crime, I saw a lot of poverty. The challenges are so many. The first one that comes to mind is the level of youth unemployment that's here.
Challenges that exist here in West Prospect Bogwalk are lack of awareness for educational opportunities or job opportunities.
Not many got the chance to do CXC or graduate from the secondary level. So that's a major setback for the people living in the community.
A way to alleviate this issue is training programs.
They need more opportunities, like to go back to school to get themselves a certificate so they can be able to work and create employment for themselves and their family.
Push more entrepreneurship opportunity, encourage these youths to be creative and innovative in what they do. Give them startup capital to start their business. Invest more in the youth skills and talents.
The Poverty Reduction Program is funded by the European Union, and it really is a program that focuses on the most vulnerable type of communities, making communities safer, making citizens more healthy, better access to education.
For European Union, investing in youth is an obvious choice. They are the future of the country. If we prepare them well, they will bring the change that Jamaica needs. That's why we invest in scholarships, internship, training in life skills and mentorship.
I received a tertiary scholarship from PRP to attend the University of Technology, Jamaica. It meant a lot to me because I realized that somebody else believed in me and somebody saw the potential that I have and somebody believed that I could actually achieve my goal.
I benefited by getting firstly an internship, and also they assisted my bachelor's degree financially. But critically, outside of the finances, the persons that were on the project, you know, the motivation that they provided, etc., it really provided a huge boost.
This is my third year at the MICO. This scholarship, it helped me to be able to focus only on my education here, because tertiary education is not cheap.
I was placed at ODPEM on the one-year internship program. It was really good. It was an opportunity for me to prove myself, to give myself a service, and also to gain experience in the working world, and to also provide for my family.
I plan to be an agent of change in my community by being a mentor, a leader, and a godfather for the youths growing up. Try to help them teach them a trade.
You don't have to be rich to help. You don't have to achieve greatness to start. I contributed to my basic school by providing them with the necessary resources that they need, that I believe that in the long run it will have a ripple effect on many, many persons.
Professionally, I manage the whole program, which is aimed at giving young persons the opportunity to, do what I did, basically, to get their foot inside an organization. Additionally, I also have a little small business that I try to employ young persons to learn a skill, etc.
When you're persistent in life, when you're determined, when you're hungry for success, then you'll be able to accomplish and achieve anything that you want.
It has changed hundreds and hundreds of lives. Not just my life, my family lives, my friends' lives, etc. I want to just urge everyone looking on to continue these social programs. These are the solutions to the many ills that we face as a society and as a country and even as a world. So thank you, and I challenge you, continue it. It's needed.
there's one thing that we are clear on. The right to life supersedes every other right.
We applaud Prime Minister Andrew Holness's stance, cauterizing murders, shootings, domestic violence, rape and other violent acts committed against our citizens is an absolute necessity. We continue to encourage you to call 311 and tell what you know. After all, silence breeds violence. On today's Jamaica Magazine, we are highlighting two important segments of the population, the deaf and seafarers. Stay with us.
Sign with me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sign with me.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, September 23. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has called on world leaders to double their contributions to the Green Climate Fund, GCF. The fund is seeking to raise $100 billion by 2020 to aid developing countries adapt and increase their resilience to climate change.
An ambitious and successful replenishment will enable our Green Climate Fund to fulfill its role of channeling adequate and predictable climate finance to where it is most needed. I am confident that our fund will continue to respond to the needs and ambitions of developing countries, but we need to place it in a position to effectively do so.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness was addressing Sunday's high-level luncheon held under the theme, An Urgent Call for Countries to Partner for Climate Action. The event was jointly hosted by Prime Minister Holness and his Norwegian counterpart, Erna Solberg. Mr. Holness is on assignment in the U.S. state of New York, where he's representing Jamaica's interests at the United Nations. The Prime Minister will be addressing the United Nations Climate Action Summit, the high-level panel for a sustainable ocean economy, and the United Nations General Assembly, which will take place from September 21 to October 1. Mr. Holness will also be holding bilateral talks with several leaders on the margins of the UN General Assembly. During his absence, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang is in charge of government. In other news, the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be rolling out its revamped traffic management system next month. The new system will regulate the issuing of tickets, address the accumulation of thousands of unpaid tickets, and restore public order among unruly motorists. While making the disclosure, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says a centralized web-based system will coordinate payments, demerit points, court fines, and the issuing of electronic warrants.
This is, of course, the value added of the new traffic ticket management system. It allows officers of the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch to access real-time reports that detail information on all warrants that have been issued for an individual and flags the warrants that remain outstanding for that individual at any point in time, so in fact you can know who they are, what they're outstanding for, and find them and charge them.
Minister Chang was speaking at the handover of 80 motorcycles to the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, on Friday. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, says the 80 motorcycles will be deployed in town centers and hotspots across the island to allow for quick response and enforcement of traffic breaches. The increased mobility, Major Anderson says, will greatly impact traffic crashes and road deaths.
This is something that we are paying particular attention to, and for the last part of the year, both through our enforcement strategies and our presence, we are hoping to get a reduction.
The government of Jamaica and the People's Republic of China have signed a protocol to govern the export of frozen lobster to China. The agreement, which was signed on Thursday, outlines the sanitary and hygienic conditions necessary to facilitate such export. It also indicates the responsibilities of the local authority body, the Veterinary Services Division, in coordination with the General Administration of Customs of the People's Republic of China. Fisheries Minister Audley Shaw says the agreement is a big step in the right direction as it further expands the market for the export of frozen lobsters into China. Over 28,000 kilograms of live lobster in export is expected this year.
I urge all our relevant stakeholders and our potential exporters to adhere to their responsibilities to comply strictly with the requirements.
The new agreement is an expansion on a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) signed in 2017 for the export of fisheries products to China. Since the signing of that MOU, Minister Shaw said a protocol for the export of live lobster was developed and ratified by both countries, and there has been steady export of live spiny lobster from Jamaica to China. 120 primary school teachers in 75 schools across 7 parishes will be taught how to diagnose and correct various language-based learning disabilities in students. It will be facilitated by the Creative Language-Based Learning Foundation following the contract signing on Wednesday with the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF. The 6-month course is being funded by JSIF at a cost of $20.6 million.
What we want to do from here on out is just to continue to build from strength to strength, and I'm sure that in the time to come we will see the results of the students who have benefited from this program.
So when we have a creative learning-based platform that will assist children with learning disabilities, it is a win not just for the teachers who are being trained, but it is a win for all our children, all our thousands of Jamaican children who will now benefit from teachers who have now educated themselves and gone through professional development to ensure that they can teach our children who present themselves with learning disabilities.
The Linda Mood Bell program was first taught to 50 teachers in Jamaica in 2017. It is a useful technique for children with dyslexia, hyperlexia, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, autism spectrum disorders, and other learning difficulties. And finally, the National Water Commission, NWC, says it will be ensuring that real estate developers build according to the approved water storage capacity as per their permits. Speaking at a JIS think tank, NWC's President Mark Barnett says permits usually require housing developments to have water storage for a minimum of 6 days. However, Mr. Barnett says developers tend to ignore that part of the permit, and that the NWC will be applying enforcement measures.
For those developers who would have been approved and based on the certificate of approval issued by the NWC, which is also used by the parish council or the municipal council as a means of granting development approval, they are going to be mandated before getting their final connection to the NWC system in terms of those requirements.
Mr. Barnett says storage is a requirement for continued water supply to customers in the event of a disruption in the NWC system. Meanwhile, Mr. Barnett is also recommending that persons modify their premises to facilitate rainwater harvesting.
So where persons would have put in a townhouse complex, an apartment complex, most of the driveways paved, it is just simple an approach to put a small storage, capture that rainwater that is flowing from those surfaces, and you could use that for your on-site irrigation of your common areas rather than utilize the potable water.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Water is precious. So we encourage everyone to practice the 4 R's of water conservation. Always remember to reduce your use of water wherever possible. Replace water wasting devices with water savings devices. Reuse water wherever possible. And wherever leaks are found, please repair them and repair them quickly.
Don't delay. Practice the 4 R's of water conservation today.
Jamaica is making significant strides in its quest to become the center of logistics and maritime operations in the region. We intend to do so by fully utilizing our location, our workforce, and our indomitable spirit.
The seas call them home. Home, where the northeast trade winds dance through the sounds of reggae, where the cockpit country shadows the world's fastest man, the vanguard of the Caribbean. The seas call them home, home to Jamaica. Jamaica is the third largest island in the Caribbean and the largest English-speaking island state, with the seventh largest natural harbor in the world, essential for a robust shipping industry. Jamaica also has the second largest transshipment hub in the Caribbean. These developments are driven by a commitment to honor the international maritime conventions that Jamaica has signed, establishing a maturing partnership with the International Maritime Organization, IMO. This 40-year partnership brings consistent advocacy for the maritime interests of Jamaica, the Caribbean and the small island developing states and the least developed countries. The seas carry them on, shaping an expansive and progressive maritime vision, fueling a structure and infrastructure of container, cruise and bulk cargo ports, maritime administration and ship registration, maritime education and training. This vision led to the expansion and upgrading of port facilities island-wide to capitalize on additional trade and larger ships accessing services through the newly expanded Panama Canal. The expansion positions Kingston as one of the region's major ports. The Port of Kingston is also equipped to offer a range of maritime logistical services. For example, operating as the regional hub for vehicles delivered to 23 destinations in Central America and the Caribbean. Through German Ship Repair Services Jamaica, the island also offers wet dock repair services and plans full ship repairs with a floating dry dock. Jamaica's commitment to a greener maritime environment guides its fuel diversification with the use of clean fuels, including natural gas. The prevention of maritime pollution is also integral in policy initiatives. As part of this thrust, Jamaica is now acceded to the Ballast Water Management Convention 2004 and is also the lead partnering country in the IMO's Globe Ballast Partnerships Program. Bunkering is another key element of Jamaica's position as a major shipping center. We supply bunkers not only for vessels calling at Jamaican ports, including cruise ships, but also for those transiting across the wider Caribbean. Falmouth, Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio and Kingston, 5 cruise shipping ports, with the Falmouth Pier being purpose-built for the largest cruise ships in the world. These major cruise ports offer a full range of cruise passenger facilities and services. Awarded the world's leading cruise destination, Jamaica's unique attractions, diverse tourism and numerous recreational and cultural activities are equal sources of attraction for the creme de la creme of the seas, Royal Caribbean's Harmony of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship and other major cruise lines. The seas sends them out. Seafarers and shipping staff trained in Jamaica for international service are key to Jamaica's success as a maritime state. The Caribbean Maritime University, CMU, is the sole IMO-recognized maritime training institution in the English-speaking Caribbean for the training of officers. The CMU is now poised to satisfy the region's demands in the expanding maritime and logistics sectors with the opening of 5 satellite campuses. Through partnership with the Technical Cooperation Division of the IMO, Jamaica helps countries in the region meet their obligations under the International Convention on Standards of Training, Certification and Watchkeeping for Seafarers. Jamaica has also chaired for 10 years at the IMO, the organ responsible for the international rules for standards of training for seafarers. Jamaica is committed to reducing substandard shipping in the Caribbean. To meet this objective, the island has hosted the Secretariat of the Caribbean Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control, CMOU, since 2004. In addition, Jamaica is host to the International Seabed Authority. 25 states now have permanent missions to support the regulation and control of all mineral-related activities of the authority. Partnering with the IMO Program of Integration for Women in the Maritime Sector, Jamaica has helped to mobilize maritime women in the region and strengthened their contribution to the safety, security, and environmental protection of the maritime industry. Jamaica has also hosted the inaugural Regional Women in Maritime Association WEMAC conference. Its executive is led by a cohort of strong female leaders, including its first president, a Jamaican. The seas carry them through. Jamaica's long-standing advantages, highly developed shipping expertise, and a skilled and educated workforce has seen our maritime sector blossom into an invaluable resource for the Caribbean and the region. A maritime state, a maritime home, bridging the IMO with the Caribbean and the Americas.
Let's get together and feel alright.
As we celebrate International Day of Sign Languages, we highlight deaf children and their need to communicate with us. Take a look.
Some things we may say.
No. Thank you. Goodbye. Excuse me.
Yes. Please. Hello. I'm sorry.
Wanna play? What's up? Stop. What's a Wi-Fi password?
Wait. Where's the bathroom? What's your name? Drink. Water. What's the name of your school? Where's the town?
Taxi, bus park, shop.
How
to get a deaf person's attention. Don't shout at me. Don't throw anything at me. That's dangerous. You can walk beside me and touch me on my shoulder lightly, or you can wave at me. If I'm in a room, you can flicker the lights.
Maintain eye contact. Ensure you're looking directly at the person you're speaking with. Try not to let your eyes wander. Also, it's best to communicate in a room that has good lighting. If it's too dark, communication will be difficult.
Please, make sure you don't have anything in your hands when you're talking to me.
If you cannot sign, you can write, draw, show a picture, or text.
Another way you can communicate with me is by using gestures. You can use your body and your hands to speak. For example, if you don't know the sign for bus, you could use this sign. If you don't know the sign for stop, you could use this gesture.
Now that you've gotten some quick tips on how to communicate with the deaf, be inspired by deaf teacher and advocate Anthony Aiken.
Born deaf. My mother had German measles, rubella, and either I could have had a physical disability, be blind, but I became deaf, and I'm happy with it. I'm perfect with it. My mother, she was really concerned. She didn't know where to put me. St. Christopher's School for the Deaf was too far. It was in Brownstone. So my mother held me at home till I was about 6 years old, and I found Daniel Williams School for the Deaf. I was placed there at 6 and continued from there. The first time I signed, or the first time I witnessed sign language, was 6. Before that, it was lip reading and gestures. The children would sign, but the teachers didn't sign. But I was good at lip reading, but the education aspect of it, learning, that wasn't a part of it. We were focusing on being able to speak and being with speech therapists, and that's why hence not having the great education I should. I was working at Jamaica Flour Mills. It was a good job, but communication was always a challenge. Sometimes there were a lot of misunderstandings. So I decided to resign. I didn't work for 1 year, and then I had my son after that year. And then JD called me, Jamaica Association for the Deaf. It wasn't my goal to be a mentor, but it has truly been beneficial because the children need that. They need role models, they need mentors. I encourage the deaf children to have deaf pride, to know that they can. You're on the same level as a hearing person. It doesn't matter that you can't hear. You have a lot of deaf adults who are successful, and you can achieve. You can get the education that you want, you can do anything that you want, you can achieve. Don't feel like you can't because you're deaf. The same hearing people who are teasing you and saying you're dumb and all these things, don't focus on that, focus on yourself and focus on improving yourself. With the sign language, everyone is included. That's my philosophy. So that means hearing people have to learn how to sign so that they can respect the deaf community, and the deaf person himself or herself will feel pride. Because when I think back on when I was growing up, how I was forced to lip read and forced to talk, I'm happy to see now that sign language is there and everybody is using it, and that's my philosophy.
I say be careful what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister. She could be the next Prime Minister.
Sexual abuse is always a very difficult thing to confront, particularly when the alleged victim is a child. Parents, if it is that you suspect that your child has been sexually abused or is in a vulnerable set of circumstances where an abuse may occur, we encourage you to have dialogue with your child. Take the child to the pediatrician who normally attends to the child. If there is no such pediatrician, take your child to the clinic, to the hospital, to some medical practitioner who can do an assessment for you. It's very important as well that we don't just look at the physical side, but we also seek to find the kind of psychosocial support that a child may need. Does the child need a session with a counselor? Does the child need to speak with a pastor who is used to dealing with these issues? Does the child need to get that ongoing psychological support to assist with the healing process and also to assist the child in becoming strong enough, as it were, to deal with the various processes that will follow once it is that you suspect an abuse has occurred? If it is that the child actually discloses when you engage the child in discussion that yes, mommy and daddy, I was abused, we encourage you to entertain the child, to listen to what the child has to say to you, and to take it very seriously. So we really urge you to have those discussions and to seek guidance in terms of, do I speak to the police about this, which we always say you have to. Because once a child has been sexually abused, it's a criminal matter, and it means that once at all possible, the child should be assisted to go through the processes so that the perpetrator can in fact be held accountable. Support your child and let them understand in very clear terms that they are not the cause or the reason for this abuse having been perpetrated. But the most important element is to support them, get them access to the services that they need, and give them a chance to have you give them that listening ear. For these tips, and of course any other information that deals with children, that is anyone under 18 years, please feel free to contact the Office of the Children's Advocate. We're at 72 Harbour Street, downtown Kingston, and our numbers are 948-1134, or website www.oca.gov.jm. Thank you.
Watch what you teach your little children. Make sure I know something to hurt them. Mind what you saying to my sister, cause she could be the next Prime Minister.
And that's all the time we have here on this station. Catch us round about the same time tomorrow. We are available online at your leisure. There's our website, our pages on all the major social media sites, our YouTube channel, and our mobile app that's smartphone compatible. On behalf of the entire team here at the GIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
As a teacher for over 8 years, we need to realize that the children are our future. We need to love them, appreciate and respect our children. No more violence against children. No more!
On this episode of Wealth Magazine Business Access, we get to hear from the President and CEO of the Victoria Mutual Group, Courtney Campbell. Taking us on a trek down memory lane, Campbell identifies how faith, discipline, and leadership were a part of his core from a young age, qualities that would later prove vital as he excelled in corporate Jamaica. Campbell also shares his plans to use his extensive experience in the industry to revolutionize the VM Group, making it even more customer-centric and competitive in the financial sector.
I'm Courtney Campbell, President and CEO of the Victoria Mutual Group. I'm a country boy. I was born in Chapelton, Clarendon, to Osmond and Carmen Campbell, two public servants. Grew up in a small family. Just my younger brother and myself with our parents over the years. Actually born on Mother's Day, I just think that's special, right? And so as the first child of my mother and being born on Mother's Day, I think is really cool. But we actually grew up in Kellits, Clarendon, North Clarendon. That's where my parents lived at the time. And childhood days were really fun. We spent holidays many times with our grandparents. My mother's father lived in Colonel's Ridge, which is North Clarendon, and my father's parents lived in Rock River, which is just about central Clarendon. They had farms, and it was really fun to be moving cattle in Rock River, for example, from one part of the pasture to the next. And, you know, we'd spend some time with our cousins there. But also, we had some really wonderful times just playing at home. And my father taught me cricket in the backyard, right? And we would use some improvised equipment, right? But we had really good time. I remember roasting corn, and then some really good family fun times traveling around the island. My father was a forest officer, so he had, I think, a good career with the Forestry Department in the Ministry of Agriculture. He would spend lots of time in the hills of St. Andrew, Portland, St. Thomas, but also based in Monique, St. Anne. And he would work from there, and also in the Bullhead Mountain area of North Clarendon. So he worked all over the island, you know, helping us to preserve our forests and to ensure that the environment was protected. My mother was a postmistress, and she worked at the Mona Post Office, Watermount, Kellits, and she ended her last few years in the service were at Watermount in St. Catherine. But my brother, Alistair, spent a lot of time with our diplomatic service. He was posted in Japan at one point, and of course in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here. He eventually left that to start a publishing business on his own, so he lives with his family now in Canada, right? But we spent, for school, we attended Kellits Primary. Right through our school life, whether it was in primary school or in high school, my parents really made some sacrifices for us. And you know, that was epitomized when we were in high school. So I attended Knox College, a boarding school, so we were boarders. And my father would leave home in Kellits to drive to Spalding to visit us on every weekend. Take talk for us, make ensure that we're okay. So I found that although we were from humble circumstances, we're civil servants, children, we ended up, you know, helping other kids who were much better off with talk, you know, food supplies, and their money, right? Some very wealthy kids, because we had to be so disciplined in how we were managing the little we had. They probably weren't forced to be as disciplined. So I did first form at Clarendon College. That's where I passed the Common Entrance 4. My brother was at the junior school at Knox, Knox Junior School, and my parents wanted us to be together. And so they made outreach to the principal and the vice principal of the high school, Mrs. Jones, Barbara Jones at the time, and she arranged for me to be transferred from Clarendon College to Knox. So I started Knox in second form, what they call at Knox Class 8, and it was a really great experience being at that school. And, you know, today I'm so fond of Knox. I sit on the board now. What I was exposed to at the high school, I started to develop leadership skills and getting some leadership responsibilities. I was a prefect. Then you were involved in several other activities such as track and field. I started doing a little track, and of course I played cricket for the school and represented the school in one chess match. I quite enjoyed. I got a good beating, but I quite enjoyed it. And then when doing A-levels at Knox, then we did A-levels at the community college, and that was a further, experience to develop leadership skills. And we're involved in the student council there, and I was there at a canteen that was run by the students, so I was a canteen manager. But those A-level years were wonderful, developed some great friendships. So by the time we got to UWI in 1981 is when I started, I think we were well prepared for the course of study at the time. I actually joined university, was admitted to do hotel management, believe it or not, because that's what I thought I was passionate about at the time. Initially I wanted to do the law, probably 14, 15. By the time I ended A-levels, it was hotel management. I was dead set on managing a hotel. But during my first year, got some advice that the program that UWI had at the time for hotel management, which required us to start to do 1 year here and then the other 2 years in the Bahamas, that there were some challenges with the Bahamas leg of it. And so someone who was actually there advised me to try to switch to the straight management studies degree. And so I got the transfer into straight management studies and completed those studies in 1984. But again, my UWI experience was so much more than about the academics, right? It was about involvement in student leadership and in the other extracurricular activities. So I was manager of the football team, for Chancellor Hall. I was an executive of the University and Colleges Christian Fellowship, the UCCF group on campus. I was treasurer for Chancellor Hall in my second year, and then in my final year, I was a deputy hall chairman for Chancellor Hall and a guild councillor. So, if you think about it, when you combine the high school years with those years at university, lots of exposure to leadership, the ability to interact with persons from different backgrounds and different experiences, and living on campus, both in high school and university, would have given me some wonderful opportunities to develop my interpersonal skills as well and to develop a certain independence. So I think those were wonderful years that I cherish to this day. I had this combination in my heart of loving to deal with people as well as numbers, right? So I thought banking represented the perfect combination of numbers and people every day.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
I had this combination in my heart of loving to deal with people as well as numbers, right? So I thought banking represented the perfect combination of numbers and people every day, right? And so I applied to all the banks at the time, right? There's a few banks, but the commercial banks, those are the institutions that I submit. So I was interested in manufacturing, any other service industry, just banks. And I eventually landed a job at the bursary of the University of the West Indies right after graduation. But soon after that, started getting answers now from some of the banks, in NCB at the time, and also Citibank and so on. Eventually, by February of 1985, I started my career with National Commercial Bank, and I was to be there for 23 years. I joined as a graduate trainee. That was a program they had at the time. Some called it management training, some called it graduate training. The idea was that over 18 months, you would be exposed to most of the operations in a branch, right? You wouldn't be stuck in one area for 4 or 5 years, but you'd be exposed in 8-week stints or 4-week stints of different desks in the branch. And once you were successful in that program over 18 months, you would then become a supervisor, which was a big deal at the time. Many university graduates, went on that program. Not all did well, right? And for different reasons, but I had a successful program. And so I became a supervisor at that branch, and Matilda's Corner it was. I started during that period the associateship for the Chartered Institute of Bankers, what is called the ACIB, which really, because at UWI, they would not have gone into details of banking. It was very general. But, one piece of advice that I had received when I was being interviewed for the job is that if you really want to do banking as a career, it made sense for you to do those professional banking exams. One of the things I have always been committed to was excellence. Whatever I was doing, I was going to be very, very good at it, right? I would take home the simplest tasks when I was learning them on the counter, right? And I would practice, right? Using sample transactions, I would practice them at home, and to ensure that when I returned the following day doing the real stuff, that, it was well done and very efficiently done. And so, I remember early days when I was in the foreign exchange department doing some complex traveler's checks transactions that, one customer said, "Have never been served so quickly with this type of transaction." I really set high standards for myself. I was transferred from the branch into corporate division, which was unusual at the time because the corporate division was really for the cream of the crop in terms of credit analysts, so they would pull most in fact, all of the account executive assistants from the credit department at head office. And I was, at the time, from what I can recall, the first to leave a branch and to go directly to corporate. I really threw myself into that work. And so by the time NCB in the mid-90s established an investment bank and wanted someone from their ranks to work in that small team, Mr. James, Rex James, as the managing director, asked me to do that. And it was a great privilege. So I joined together with a couple of other guys, and we started what was then called National Mutual Investments. So I had moved from retail banking in a branch to corporate banking to then investment banking. And that was a time when lots of investment banking activity in Jamaica was going on, and in the mid-90s. I spent 3 years there. I think we achieved some of the objectives, or most of the objectives that we had set out. So at the end of that 3-year period, though, I felt that I really now wanted to be on my own. So I spoke with the head of HR at the time, Audrey Basanta Henry, and when an opportunity came up, I was offered the opportunity to be the branch manager in Mandeville. And what a wonderful experience that was, right? Leading my own team there, but wonderful customers in that part of the island, and a great team. And to this day, I have solid friendships that were developed in those 3 years in Mandeville. My family moved to Mandeville. We worshipped at Ridgemount United Church in Mandeville. We're really part of the community. And when we returned to Kingston 2 or 3 years later, it was really a very emotionally difficult time for us, but because we thoroughly enjoyed that time. I I returned to Kingston to take up the role of head of retail banking. So in 2008, I transitioned from NCB to First Global Holdings Limited, as a subsidiary of Grace Kennedy. And I'd enjoyed my time at NCB. I had some wonderful colleagues, some great bosses in Patrick Hilton and Dennis Cohen. Really enjoyed working with them, and of course the chairman, Michael Leachin. But I believe that at that point of my career, I wanted something more in terms of broader responsibilities. And yes, I was leading the largest business division there, but it was at the end of the day a division of the bank. And the question is, as I looked through to the rest of my career, was it going to be sufficiently fulfilling for me to be just chasing more profits each year? And I felt that I could do a little more. And so this opportunity at Grace Kennedy came up to lead the banking and investments division, First Global Holdings Limited, and I was happy to take that up. I believe that at the time I thought that it's more than leading that business, just being mentored by someone like Douglas O'Rian was going to be a great opportunity as well, and so I accepted that offer and started in July 2008. I think it worked wonderfully. And, so I had 8 great years there. That's another iconic Jamaican institution. So if you think about it, I've really been privileged. I've been blessed to have had exposure to executive leadership at NCB and Grace Kennedy, two of the iconic institutions in Jamaica. Soon after joining, that was July 2008, by February of 2009, I was asked to take responsibility for the entire financial services division. It was then called GK Investments. What we did then was operationalize a company called GK Financial Group. And so that really was the holding company for all the financial service businesses in Grace Kennedy, cutting across 12 Caribbean territories, the money services business, insurance, banking, investments. And I had a seat on the board of the parent company, Grace Kennedy Limited. And I would say to you that it was a rich experience, just being exposed to world-class governance practices, decision-making in a conglomerate, capital allocation decisions. And we did, I believe, achieve a lot. There was pretty significant growth in the business over that time, and also some investments that will, bear fruit in the future. And so just, the opportunity to be involved in those was just invaluable, right? And again, building up some good relationships with some wonderful and talented, very, very talented people on the board and in the executive leadership team and right across Grace Kennedy. So the next phase of my life, so if you recall, 23 years at NCB, 1985 to 2008, then 8 years at Grace Kennedy, 2008 to 2016, right? And this great opportunity comes up at Victoria Mutual Building Society. And I'm thinking about this, through the last few months of 2015, and saying that I'm enjoying my time at GK, at Grace. I'm really learning a lot and benefiting from great working relationships with everyone there. And the question is, how do I pull away, and why should I pull away from that to do this job at Victoria Mutual? And you know why I eventually decided to? The mission of Victoria Mutual. The mission that was behind the establishment in 1878. And that mission was a noble one that I think is still relevant today, because Victoria Mutual was established for the purpose of ensuring that ordinary Jamaicans, if you recall, this was 1878, 13 years after the Morant Bay Rebellion, 40 years after the abolition of slavery, land ownership and home ownership, were distant dreams for the ordinary people at the time. And so some clergymen decided that, using the model that they had seen working in the UK, where these building societies were being established and doing reasonably well, that model was viable in Jamaica as well. So, Reverend G.W. Dowan and some other clergymen decided that they would want to establish Victoria Mutual for that purpose and to help some ordinary people to get a breakthrough by virtue of just pooling their savings, right? And, granting home loans from that. And I've always been concerned about inequality in Jamaica. I don't believe any one institution can solve that, but I believe that each institution can be a point of light, right? We need several million points of light, but let me be one point of light, right? Or let my company, let my institution be one point of light. And so that is what attracted me to Victoria Mutual. We have this ambition that, 2 or 3 years out of university, you have a stable job, we should enable you to have a mortgage to open your own doors. That's the type of ambition that we're bringing to it. Because Jamaicans are ambitious people and we want to facilitate the ambition. So that is about how we structure our mortgage products and so on, right? And how early we encourage you to start meaningful saving, right? Because that's a goal we have. Now we're committed to mutuality. And mutuality really means that the customers are also the owners of the business. That's why we call them members, right? So they're not just a customer, they're members. It's their business. And we believe that diversity of business models is good for Jamaica. It's good to have a business in the financial sector that's strong. We are the 4th largest deposit-taking institution. So, we do have a pretty decent market share, right, which we're seeking to grow. But it's good to have such a strong institution like Victoria Mutual Building Society owned by all our customers. All of these people operating in doing business, living and working in Jamaica, and many in the diaspora, owning this business and the business being run for their benefit. I would want Victoria Mutual to, during my tenure, make a real difference in financial inclusion in Jamaica, making it possible for many more Jamaicans to meaningfully participate in the financial sector, saving, but also borrowing to acquire their own homes. I think we have to keep working at ways to make a breakthrough in that respect. I'm driven by, I think, my personal convictions. My faith is very important. I'm driven by, I think, my personal convictions. My faith is very important. There's a verse in Colossians that speaks to whatever work you're doing, work at it with all your heart as if working for the Lord and not for men, right? So I really commit to doing everything that I'm doing with a certain degree of excellence, because I believe that this too is kingdom building. I mean, I think that God works through all of us, right, in helping to make the world a better place, in bringing more justice and righteousness. And I think that even in the financial sector, that we can play a role in helping people to live better lives, and that drives me. Of course, I'm also driven by my family. I've been married to my wife, Pauline, for 29 years. I have a really great relationship. So she's a wonderful partner, a great support. We met at university, right? And so I see her as a great partner in this journey of life. My two sons, Adrian and Dominic, are also special. So we enjoy really good family times. And some of the things that I look forward to are just holidays as a family together. And we have had some wonderful times over the years, but not just holidays. Just going home during the week and spending time on weekends together is something that's special. I've grown a lot in terms of how to develop strategy, in terms of how to lead people, in terms of the ability to make tough decisions, right, and communicate tough, difficult decisions. So I've grown a lot in that respect. I've grown a lot in terms of how to network, in terms of how the responsibility of, taking public positions, right, standing alone sometimes, unpopular positions. So I think all of those experiences have helped me to mature over the years. Over the years, I've been very involved in public service. So, well, first of all, through the church, I have served different congregations, Portmore United, Richmond United, Webster Memorial, in different roles in social outreach, in evangelism, in discipleship. I've served at the Knox College on the Board of Governors there. I've served as chairman of the National Education Trust, and that's the arm of the Ministry of Education that's responsible for stimulating private sector investments in education. So I served as chairman of that body for 4 years, and during that time we completed the construction of several school expansions, but also a new school, Cedar Grove High School, and then we spent some time developing the business case and getting approval for a project to install solar energy, PV panels in 20 to 30 schools. I think for me, true wealth is eternal. It's investing in things that last, investing in family, investing in people, so that the things you sow in people will last beyond your lifetime. And also in how you help to build a kingdom that is reflected in love and peace and so on, some things that outlast you.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
Welcome to another edition of Corporate Events. I'm your host, Amita Prasad Webb. Today we bring you the SEBI closeout event right here at the Venetian at the Terra Nova Hotel. Please stay tuned for highlights.
We're celebrating 6 years of sector development and social enterprise excellence led by the joint USAID and JN Foundation initiative, SEBI. With our sector founders, champions, stakeholders, bi-social consumers, and social enterprise practitioners. Take this journey with us from 2012 to 2018 to see how the triple bottom line of people, purpose, and profit approach to business is changing the face of entrepreneurship and social development in Jamaica, one community at a time.
The JN Foundation made a very conscious decision to address a specific problem within the social sector, which is the inability of social organizations to effectively deliver their core services. After years of seeing social interventions discontinue due to a lack of funding and understanding the changing global landscape in which grants and donations are being reduced to this region, former General Manager Safi Brown designed the Social Enterprise Boost Initiative. In 2012, the JN Foundation partnered with USAID to introduce and formalize the social enterprise model. SEBI's goal was to assist organizations operating within the social sector to become income generating and self-sustaining, whilst addressing social, environmental, cultural challenges. SEBI proved that social enterprises can become viable businesses through targeted support services such as capacity development training, mentorship. A number of our enterprises were assigned mentors, equipment support, and networking to some 35 social enterprises in business incubator and accelerator programs. The enterprises over the period of SEBI were able to generate over $186 million and employ on a part-time and full-time basis over 500 persons. They introduced innovative products to the market, and some experienced phenomenal growth over a relatively short period of time. The impact of SEBI also reached over 100 additional social organizations that participated in the open network activities. Among our outcomes were inclusion of persons living with disabilities. At least 20% of social enterprises in the SEBI incubator and accelerator programs were either owned or operated by persons living with a disability. The partnership between JN Foundation and USAID has created what is now an emerging social enterprise sector. There is enthusiasm about using business as a force for good, which has been at the foundation and the heart of the JN brand. The Social Enterprise Boost Initiative, which was a partnership between Jamaica National Foundation and USAID, has ended today. For us, we are very proud of the pioneering work that we have done in terms of introducing this new form of business model to social organizations where they can move towards become more self-sufficient. Today we really recognize the enterprises that stuck through the program, the enterprises that made significant improvements. Enterprises like DEFCON, Educators, Inspire 365, Brescia, Bunkers Hill. The JN Foundation has really always done things differently, not afraid to take on new areas, new ideas, and SEBI, Social Enterprise, was another testament to the kind of innovative work that the foundation does.
So talk to us about SEBI, how it came about, and what was happening at the time for it to, or why people felt that it needed to come about.
The reason that we designed SEBI was as a response to these kind of ongoing needs of organizations across Jamaica for funding. And JN Foundation had tested the social enterprise model through the source in 2007, done a number of them across the country, and were able to show that social enterprises were a real tool for community development, and then responded to these organizations that needed funding, that we couldn't provide enough funding. We just didn't have enough money to constantly be able to say yes. And instead of just sort of being sitting ducks and responding with no's, we can't help you, we decided to develop SEBI as a real tool for organizations to figure out a different way to become sustainable. We saw this as a growing risk and a growing threat for the voluntary sector in Jamaica. And so SEBI was as a direct response to that threat to make sure that we provided a different opportunity for organizations before they sort of ran out of steam, ran out of funding, and closed their doors. And so this is what we had in mind when we designed SEBI. We applied under the Development Grant Program 3 with USAID and started the project in 2012.
7 years later, we're now at your closeout event, which is a big deal. What are your thoughts and personal feelings?
I mean, you know, SEBI has been extraordinary. From where we started with the source back in 2007, I remember everybody looking at me and somebody telling me you're talking mumbo jumbo when I said something about social enterprise, to today where everybody understands and knows what that is. And that, you know, there's so many different organizations in the space now, which is really exciting. And so for me, it's really just about, you know, very proud to have created this framework where organizations can choose what they want for themselves, but there is an avenue for that. And yeah, just really proud of the accomplishments of the team. We had a great project manager in phase 1, Jennifer Sharia, and Opal White in phase 2 really took the project to the next level. And so we're really, really proud of them. And then we couldn't have done this without USAID and their contribution over the years.
And that was the first segment of the SEBI closeout event. I hope you still be here when we get back from break. We have more. Please stay tuned.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV. Welcome back to the SEBI closeout event right here at the Terra Nova Hotel. We go straight to stage.
Over the last 2 years, this social enterprise has grown their employee base by 10 times, added 11 more outlets to their distribution channels, and increased their annual revenue, as you heard before, from $4 million to $13 million. So help me welcome Social Enterprise SOCENT 28 awardee for growth, Team Def Can. Come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the SOCENT 2018 awardee for innovation, Educators JA. And the SOCENT Award for Inclusion, Superior Craft, and more. And next, the SOCENT Award 2018 for Rural Generation. Next step, lifelong educational services. The SOCENT 2018 Media Champion, Ralston Hyman. Thank you so much, Ralston. Come on up. And the SOCENT 2018 Public Sector Champion, Charmaine Brim of the Planning Institute of Jamaica. Thank you for your passion. The SOCENT 2018 Private Sector Champion, that one goes to the Jamaica Stock Exchange. We're going to be handing out some certificates to all the participants of SEBI. We call them our pioneers. Give everybody a really huge round of applause. Your contribution to this sector is going to go far and wide.
We're here at the SOCENT Awards 2018. You're an awardee today. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, it's very encouraging, affirming. We were awarded for growth, and at the end of the day, that's what we're about. We want to continue to grow our impact in the deaf community in Jamaica. And so 2 years ago when we started the SEBI program, we had 2 employees. Right. And now fast forward 2 years later, we have 14 full-time employees of 10 to 12 other youth that are engaged in part-time work and transitioning into full-time work when we have more opportunities for them. So being able to grow from 2 to 14 in 2 years has been an incredible achievement, a lot of hard work by our team, and is encouraging for us just to receive that award and have our youth be able to go up on stage and receive that award.
Yeah. It's a big deal and congratulations. In regards to DEFCON being a part of SEBI, how exactly did they help move your business along?
I mean, before we were involved in the SEBI program, we didn't really understand what social enterprise was all about. Gotcha. We didn't understand that as a sector. We did not start Def Can Coffee with the goal of being a social enterprise. It was really just a reaction to the issues that we saw where our youth felt very much like they can't. Like, oh, I'm deaf, poor me, I can't. And it's like, no, you can. So it was mostly about reaching into the community and getting our youth to believe in themselves. But then as their confidence grew and we got involved in the SEBI network, got opportunities to do more events, started building partnerships, and our staff were working in other cafes and coffee shops in different locations, their confidence grew, and then the rest of society started recognizing them over and over and over again too. And so we realized this is actually a message beyond just the deaf community, because Def Can started strictly to encourage our youth to believe that they can, but now they're getting the Prime Minister's Youth Award for Social Enterprise. They're getting Social Enterprise Awards here at this event. So as they get more recognition, other people are starting to realize, oh, Def Can. And so now we have even bigger sights set on just changing how people view the deaf community as a whole.
So Def Can, you're growing. What's next?
Next for us is continued growth through partnerships. We have existing partnerships already in Kingston, in Portmore, in St. Elizabeth, in Montego Bay. And so if there is a company out there and all you want to do is serve good coffee, but you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, there's not baristas in Jamaica readily available, come to us. We'll work with you, we'll develop solutions, and we'll provide a staff member that's trained already as a barista and help you serve the needs that you have with your customers.
I extend on behalf of the JN Foundation our gratitude to the USAID for partnering with us on this project, and commend the SEBI and the JN Foundation teams for the seminal work that they have accomplished during the past 6 years to make this project a success. As Jamaicans, we can all play our part to help our social enterprises to excel in their businesses. That's what Buy Social campaign is all about. With all our financial support, these entities cannot thrive. When they succeed, Jamaica succeeds.
Well, Jane, history. Start from helping the poor and people with problems. That's our history. And unlike giving handouts and charity, JN Foundation really felt that we want to be able to help those in communities who can't help themselves, to be able to empower them to be able to help themselves going forward. We were very lucky to have been able to have a partner in the USAID who saw and captured what we're trying to do is in terms of community development and also nation building. What it started in few areas, now it's nationwide. And you can see that we have hundreds of small groups who are now able to help themselves and to be able to turn a profit and be able to make useful lives for themselves. The relationship or the program with USAID has just come to a close. So the foundation is moving it or changing it from SEBI to SEJA. So this will continue. We will work with other groups in helping communities to grow and using the same model since it has worked, and we're sure that it will continue to do well. So we're very happy in what you have seen, and you have seen the numbers of people that are turning out, with people turning hobbies into business, but also having social conscience or environmental importance, while at the same time making enough revenue to make the business sustainable. And that is what the difference in terms of from a social charity to social enterprise business.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
You are an awardee here today. Congratulations. Tell me a little bit about your business.
So next step is a social enterprise that's focused on youth engagement and employment. So we offer services such as coaching, training, speaking, and tutoring in the parish of St. Thomas and also anywhere in Jamaica or the region.
You were an awardee here for rural regeneration. Talk to us about that.
So we operate in rural Jamaica in the parish of St. Thomas, which is often underscored as a parish that is behind. So we have positioned ourselves as a social enterprise to be a part of the mission, to be a part of the change. And that started from my personal story where I had issues of self-worth growing up in a rural parish where there are so many rural stereotypes. And I looked around me and realized that the young people were equally affected just as I was. They were not delivering themselves as they should in terms of self-delivery and self-awareness. I wanted to make a change. It started a social enterprise that's really doing a great job. We partner with Heart Trust NTA, with the British Council, with various organizations that have similar mission to truly make a change while making profit.
It's basically the end of SEBI. This is their closeout event. What are your thoughts on that and I guess your feelings?
Well, SEBI has been a phenomenal support to our brand. So in terms of our brand presence and positioning from our look and our feel, we have gotten a lot of support. And they're also big on making sure that your capacity is built to match that powerful branding that we have at the front. So we had business mentorship. We were able to put in some systems that we did not have before. We actually know what the triple bottom line really means in terms of people, passion, profit. So we're taking care of our staff better, having the systems in place to make sure that inside and out that we are a powerful brand. That's the biggest thing that we have gotten from SEBI, and we're really looking forward to Social Enterprise JA. We're now well positioned to benefit from some of the support that will now come from the Social Stock Exchange and other movements that are taking place to strengthen the social enterprise movement in Jamaica.
But what's next for our next step?
Well, for next step, we're looking at actually scaling up. Our services are now well packaged. So we have Ready Set Go coaching program, we have a Prep for PEP mobile clinic, and we have the CCC training package, which looks at communication and other 21st century skills. So that is now nicely and tightly packaged, something that we didn't have before. So now we're pushing it. We're getting more support from corporate brands who are now booking us for services. We have had just a few international engagements, but with now the branding and the presence that we have with SEBI, we are sure that a lot more regional and international engagements are coming.
Talk to us a little bit about Educators JA. What exactly it is that you guys do?
Well, Educators is an edtech and adventure tour company. We, in essence, make learning fun by providing people with experiential learning and gamified field trips that are powered by technology. So we are combining exploration with things like playing, technology, exercise, things like that. Yeah.
You are the SOCENT Award winner today for innovation. Talk to us about that.
So I think, as I said, because we combine exploring with the technology, it's not a virtual experience. It's more of people going outside, learning about their country. People are involved at the same time, but the phone is really what's different. Using your phone as a tool. We have an app called Adventures. So people can download this in the App Store. It's not available on iPhones as yet, but the app, in essence, allows you to explore, learn, and have fun.
Talk to us about Educators Jamaica and your involvement with SEBI and how you've grown by being a part of SEBI.
So apart from us making learning fun and giving people tours, our tours, we have a clear social mission, which is not only to educate youth, but to include them. Inclusion means giving tours to students or young people that wouldn't necessarily get a tour. Somebody who's homeless, somebody who's deaf, so we include them. We also employ them. So we have them as creative writers and tour guides. These are youngsters that we train and recruit ourselves, giving them skills that they can use elsewhere or with us. And SEBI is really the organization that discovered the social impact that we are having through our tours. They were the ones who molded us into a social enterprise.
It's their final, their closeout event. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm just happy to be here with people who we consider to be family at this point. We've grown with them. And I'm looking forward to what SAJA will do for not just Jamaica, but the region. I'm looking forward to seeing more people become aware of what a social enterprise is, more people coming into the space, but with innovative ideas, fun ideas, things that they would consider to be their talent and so forth. I'm just looking forward to more people making social impact through business. So it's purpose plus profit. That's what I'm looking forward to.
We are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well knock down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, but the world will one day need the leadership of that child. The time you spend with your child matters. It stimulates their minds and shapes the way they act. Talk with your children. Help them to better understand the world around them and to value what is truly precious. Above all, the most valuable gift you can give them is love. Play, talk, teach, love. Take the time. It makes all the difference. A message from the Parenting Helpline and Ad Council Jamaica.
So we have with us Miss Charmaine Brim of the PIOJ, who is the Public Sector Champion Award right here at the SEBI Awards. Talk to us about that. What is your involvement with SEBI?
JN Foundation actually engaged the PIOJ in 2015 around the premise of the work that they have been doing for the social sector and sharing with us some of the gaps that were in the sector. And one of them was the fact that there was no policy framework to support the sector. So we were actually successful in lobbying the Ministry of Industry, who On the request of the Bank of Jamaica at the time, who wanted a limited review of the MSME and entrepreneurship policy, the PIOJ lobbied MICOF to have some consideration to include discussions around the social enterprise sector. And resulting from that, a new chapter was developed called the Social Value Creation. That's now added to the policy. So that's the big championing of the PIOJ in one way, and the other is that from a programmatic standpoint, the Community Renewal Program is a program within the PIOJ, and the primary goal of that program is to coordinate initiatives towards effective program delivery at the community level, and we target the volatile and vulnerable communities across 5 parishes. One of the key pillars under the Community Renewal Program is socio-economic development. And that includes looking at the strategy that deals with promoting entrepreneurship. So in the context of promoting entrepreneurship and looking for good business models that can advance sustainable development at the community level, then the social enterprise model was a good one for us as well. So it is a model that we have actually adopted, and we have found that the model is a good one. It's a high growth model, and the idea is to continue what SEBI has started. We're going to be very much involved in the conversations with JN Foundation regarding SEJA as well. As you would have heard today, it is intended to be a multi-sectoral approach, right, kind of entity. So the conversation and the work continues.
PSTO Mobility Center is a social enterprise boost initiative that caters for persons with disability, preferably persons with physical disability who use mobility aid products. So we are here to solve that problem for persons with disability.
Talk to us about your involvement with SEBI.
So as an organization, we as established as an organization, and then we see the needs of the disabled community not able to fit in society because of these challenges that comes with the wearing of the chairs or the crutches or the cane, whatever mobility needs there are. And so as an organization who advocate for persons with disability, we ensure that we represent them to the fullest. And so out of that, the Mobility Center was started. And then when SEBI came on board, of course, that was our opportunity to make ourselves visible and to be seen into what we do. So SEBI came with a lot of opportunity for us. It provided us with the skills we need. It provided with some of the tools and equipment that we need, and the retraining areas that we had underlooked or overlooked. So we're happy for the partnership with SEBI. As you know, jobs are hard to get, and can you just imagine for someone with a disability unemployed? May have the skill, but access and other things may deter these business persons to employers. So here we are now with SEBI, creating employment and training for our members. That it's a huge benefit within the disabled community when we can recognize our need and solve our needs. Disability is a state of mind. It's not a death sentence, a life sentence. So you live with your disability, you don't die with it. That's what I want to tell them. So this is an opportunity for them to get up and accept themselves as a person with a disability. Because you are a person first. I want you to know you are a person. There is a responsibility that comes with being a person. So you're going to live to your fullest. That's my advice.
A special thank you for tuning in to our coverage of the SEBI Closeout event. And thank you to the JN Foundation, the SEBI Group, and all the awardees today. I've been your host, Amita Pasadweb, and thank you for watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
The first airlines were mail planes with a few extra spaces for passengers. On these flights, you had to take care of yourself. The history of flight attendants started when commercial air travel began in the early 1920s. The flight attendants were first called couriers, and they were the sons of businessmen who financed the airlines. With the crash of the stock market in the mid-1920s, couriers were no longer employed. Co-pilots were used as replacement. But with the improvement in passenger air travel in the 1930s, airlines began to reassess the responsibility of seeing to the passengers' needs. Flight attendants, formerly stewards or stewardesses, are members of an air crew employed by airlines primarily to ensure the safety and comfort of passengers aboard commercial flights, on select business jet aircraft, and on some military aircraft. On this episode of Career Moves, we visited Fly Jamaica Airways to explore all there is to know about flight attendants.
My name is Julian Edwards. I'm an instructor and a senior cabin crew member at Fly Jamaica Airways. Fly Jamaica Airways is a partnership between Captain Ronald Rees and his wife, Mrs. Rees. They're both Guyanese, and we also have 3 Jamaican shareholders. Captain and Mrs. Rees are owners and operators of Wings Aviations in Guyana, and so they bring to us that experience in aviation. Fly Jamaica Airways is certified by the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, which is the governing body in Jamaica. We currently operate 2 aircraft. We have a Boeing 757. The capacity is 198 passengers, and we also operate the Boeing 767, and that capacity is 246 passengers. We had our inaugural flight on February 14, 2013, Valentine's Day, and that flight was from Kingston to New York, the John F. Kennedy International Airport. And that very same year, in December 2013, we started operating to Toronto from Kingston. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we have charter services available. So far we have done charters to Cuba and Haiti, and we are in dialogue for lots more charters in the future. We also have a cargo service, and that is doing extremely well. So we take cargo between Kingston to Guyana, Toronto, and New York. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we have 2 bases for our cabin crew members. We have a base in Kingston here and one in Guyana. There's a total of 60 cabin crew members and 13 senior cabin crew members, and we also have 3 trainers. We fly from Kingston to New York. We also have flights to Guyana and to Toronto. As an instructor, I'm not required to fly a lot, but I do spend a lot of time in office. When I'm in office, what I do is that I plan training sessions as required. So if we see a need for training, then we'll sit and we plan those sessions. We also have scheduled training sessions, that's ART, and this is where our cabin crew members coming once a year for a current training, and this is to keep them current and competent. I'm happy to let you know that as of April 2015, Fly Jamaica Airways has reported a 94% on-time performance. What that means is that 94% of our flights have either arrived before scheduled arrival time or on time, and that is just fantastic.
Before each flight, flight attendants attend a safety briefing with the lead flight attendant and sometimes the pilot. They go over safety and emergency checklists, the locations and amounts of emergency equipment, and other features specific to that aircraft type.
Hi team, welcome. Today we are operating flight 152 to Guyana, and we have a total of 160 passengers, full flight. You know, we expect excellent service from you guys. Maria 4, Lisa 5, 3 and 2. All right, as we say, we get on board, we help boarding the passengers with a smile. Whatever the passengers need, we offer them with courtesy and continue to be what you're always there to do, an excellent flight attendant in the sky. And we're gonna have a good one. Father, we just thank you for another good day. We thank you, dear God, for our company and Lord God, this wonderful crew. And we thank you, dear God, that we are gonna do excellent today as usual in your holy and precious name, amen.
It's always pleasant to see a crew of flight attendants going through the airport. They're usually very punctual. They must be at the airport, go through the necessary protocols, and on the flight in time to welcome the first passenger.
This is our newly acquired Boeing 767, and this is one of the big ones. We just got it.
Boarding particulars are verified, such as special needs passengers, small children traveling unaccompanied, or VIPs. They also do a safety check to ensure all equipment such as life vests, flashlights, and firefighting equipment are on board in the right quantity and in proper condition.
When we get on board our aircraft, the first thing we do is our security and safety checks to make sure the flight is good. See maintenance on board as well, because this is what we do. Safety is what they do, making sure the aircraft is ready and safe for our passengers before they get on board. This is where the food is prepared, checking off the meals and making sure the flight is ready for service. But on the afternoon service, such as this one, you'll have rice and chicken. And before takeoff, there's a safety briefing that we give to passengers, and the briefing must be done, is required to, inform the passengers of the safety needs and what, if should anything happen in an emergency, what they should do. And so our flight attendants do this before takeoff. And so Rajiv now is going to demonstrate for you how to buckle the seatbelt. And so to fasten your seatbelt, you must insert the flat metal tip into the buckle until it clicks. Pull on the belt to tighten it across the hips. To release, lift the top plate off the buckle. If you're traveling with an infant, you must fasten the seatbelt around yourself only and hold the child on your lap facing you. This flight will take us over water. Life jackets are located underneath the seat in front of you, between the seats in the business class cabin. If necessary, remove the life jacket from the pouch by pulling on the tab. Place the jacket over the head. Fasten the rear straps to the front like this and pull to tighten. Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When you leave the aircraft, pull on these tabs to inflate. It can also be inflated by blowing into the tubes on either side. There is a light which can be used to attract attention. Life jackets are carried on board for infants and small children. This 767 aircraft has 4 emergency exits. There are 2 doors on the left and 2 doors on the right-hand side of the aircraft. All doors have slide rafts. There are 4 window exits of the wings which have slides only. If you are seated in rows 1, 3, 15 or 16, please keep these areas clear of all hand luggage for takeoff and again for landing. If there's a lot of electrical power or a smoke-filled cabin, emergency path lighting on the floor will illuminate. Red lights and exit signs will highlight the exits. Take a moment now to locate the exit nearest your seat, which may be behind you. Thank you. A lot of people are not aware the serious side of this job, which includes safety training and the fact that we really do more than just serve drinks and food on board.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7 or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
You know, certain things we kind of have a gender issue with it, right? And look, Jamaican-wise, we figure more or less, there are certain things where we want to see females in, right? Tending towards servicing us good.
Persons are supposed to be able to enjoy what they're doing, so if it's to be a career as a flight attendant, then why not?
Yes, I would. I guess it depends on your age. You get to travel the world, you know, you get to see different places, and it's a fun job, even though it's a high risk, but you get rewarded for the high risk.
I leave that to my sister or some cousin, some woman. That's them type of work there for ladies.
I think it's good. I don't have a problem with it. It's gainful employment, so it's good.
It's not about going on a plane and fly to Timbuktu and come back. It has a risk. The insurance have to be at a certain level where if I fly today and don't make it back tomorrow, my family will be perfectly wealthy.
I'm Lisa Love, flight attendant and trainer of Fly Jamaica Airways. Being a trainer, for me, when I came to Fly Jamaica Airways, it was an opportunity to pass on and mentor the younger generation coming after me, wanting to know what it is like to be a flight attendant I found this a good opportunity to be the teacher of what my experience was, and so I jumped at it. I think it's important that somebody pass on the knowledge. So many persons think that you can go to school to become a flight attendant. That's not the case. Each airline, such as Fly Jamaica Airways, have to train under their AOC license their own flight attendants. This is why our training is done in-house. Our training takes place, yes, here at our head office. We have a classroom here, which is a regulated classroom because the Civil Aviation Authority regulates all the training done here at Fly Jamaica Airways. We have our own classroom and our own teachers, and so it takes place here as well as on board the aircraft. And we do some training at the airport. At Fly Jamaica Airways, we stress on safety, and so we actually train our own flight attendants to actually deliver that safety that we expect here at Fly Jamaica Airways.
There are standard requirements in order to become a flight attendant, and with Fly Jamaica Airways, it's no different.
So the prerequisites for the job include 5 CXC subjects, which includes math and English. Spanish is a must. And of course, you must be able to swim. We have routes that we plan to embark on that include Spanish-speaking customers, and so we've decided that it will be one of the prerequisites moving forward. We look for a special young lady or young man, and that would have to entail a pleasant personality, the ability to be able to communicate well with people from diverse backgrounds. Outside of that, you have to be able to sustain the rigorous training, which includes lots of drills, long hours, and be able to maintain and prove to us that you qualify through the series of testing to complete.
Safety training includes, but is not limited to, emergency passenger evacuation management, use of evacuation slides and life rafts, in-flight firefighting, first aid, defibrillation, crew resource management, and security.
This job is diverse. Of course, you will be able to have flexible hours. However, you have to be able to pack and be ready to be in any number of cities at any given time. So you really have to have the ability to be flexible enough to be ready to go at any time. Our training includes safety and service. Emphasis placed on safety, of course, because that is what we stress here at Fly Jamaica Airways. The training is a 7-week intense course, as you can say, which includes safety training as it relates to emergency scenarios on board. And it's serious business. A lot of people are not aware the serious side of this job. And the fact that we really do more than just serve drinks and food on board. We're there for safety. It could be a fire, where we are trained to actually handle and out that fire up there, because you don't have fire stations in the sky, of course not. Also, if a passenger become ill on board, which we've had people with heart attacks, and we are trained and equipped to deal with that up there until we can get to medical services on the ground. One of the drills is evacuation, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but if you should have any kind of emergency on board, we would actually get the plane out of the sky and get those passengers off in seconds to make sure that you preserve life. And the drills test that. So what we do, we put these drills into practices, and these practices will actually test the time and test the skill. So that's what we do. For the swimming, that's exactly what we do. We deploy a proper raft, and we teach the raft training and survival right there on spot. The 7-week training, of course, you have to complete it with a series of testing, and it is a series of exams, almost 14 to 15 exams, which you must pass all in order to qualify you to complete the certification. And from there, you go on to doing onboard training. And you'll go on probation for a 6 months period and you'll be assessed over that period of time. And after that, and you're confirmed, you still have to do annual training to ensure that the safety aspect of the job is maintained. The 7-week training is free of cost, of course, because it's an internal training done by us. We have 3 trainers here at Fly Jamaica Airways, and we conduct this training ourselves. Our website is fly-jamaica.com, and on it has the career link. You can go in and fill out an application form there, as well as you can drop off your application form here at 2 Holborn Road. That now will allow you to be placed in a data bank. So if we do have openings come up, then we will go to that. Once you've been screened and accepted, the training is what is most important to us. For the training, we'll have a number between 15 to 25 in each class. Because again, it's a regulated training, and for each cabin attendant to we train, you have to have a number of trainers there. So for 3 trainers, 15 to 25. We just actually certified 35 brand new flight attendants here at Fly Jamaica Airways last year. And just seeing these new people come in, I've flown with their mommies and daddies maybe in the past. I've taken them as unaccompanied minors in the past, and just to see them become a student wanting to start their career path such as I did, it was rewarding enough for me.
So everybody looks forward to their monetary compensation, but another big perk of being a flight attendant is the free travel for your immediate family. They pay only the government taxes to all of Fly Jamaica Airways destinations.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers. Right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point, dissecting the issues. Offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
I am Marie Barrett, Senior Cabin Crew Member at Fly Jamaica Airways. I started flying in 2000, 15 years ago. At 9 years old, I traveled to Disney World in Orlando, and I saw the flight attendants on board. They were beautiful, glamorous, friendly, and that's when I decided I have to become a flight attendant, so I decided to join this profession. After high school, I went away to California to study microbiology, but I still had the love for flying in my head. So I came back to Jamaica, became a travel agent, and used that segue to get into flying. I made contacts at the airport with managers for the airlines. I sent in my application and got a call, so it was quite easy transitioning from being a travel agent to a flight attendant. So I started at Air Jamaica, and when that ended, I saw Fly Jamaica as a perfect opportunity, a second chance to represent another Jamaican carrier Being a flight attendant does not feel like work, even though it's a challenging job. It does not feel like work, especially when you come to work with a team of flight attendants like the ones we have here at Fly Jamaica Airways. It's fun. That family feel is transferred to the passengers, and it's a very exciting career.
It's always nice to hear about how much one is paid for the service they provide. But even if you don't hear the numbers, wait until you hear the perks of being a flight attendant.
Okay, in terms of compensation, we're paid a base salary in Jamaican, and then depending on the flights you do, you're paid for that hourly in US dollars. So everybody looks forward to their monetary compensation, but another big perk of being a flight attendant is the free travel for your immediate family. They pay only the government taxes to all of Fly Jamaica Airways destinations. You also get the opportunity to go to a hotel when you're at a port, explore museums, shop, visit family you haven't seen, all for free. So if you like to travel, I would suggest considering becoming a flight attendant. It's a wonderful opportunity for someone who loves to meet people, see different cultures. Wonderful opportunity. One of the main challenges would be like on holidays, Christmas Day, for example, you might have to be at a port without family, but then you pull on your crew members and you become a family at that point, and you try to enjoy your Christmas with your family at work. There are some days that we go very long hours, 12-hour workday, 14-hour workday, and this can be challenging. People hear about us, hear about the profession of being a flight attendant, maybe from word of mouth, going to the airport, seeing us walk through the airport, and that's how people are aware of us. And movies, social media sometimes, but not in a traditional sense. We at Fly Jamaica Airways have started going into schools to educate our teenagers or youngsters about the career. We've given talks in different schools, and it's an initiative that we've started. My advice for persons interested in this career is to ensure you have a good support system at home, as the job requires you to travel extensively. Ensure your husbands, your wives understand that you'll be away for a while, but the job is fun, it's interesting, it's exciting, and I encourage you.
You must have a flight attendant once you have a commercial carrier, meaning passengers on board a plane. Once you have a passenger, you must have a flight attendant because we're there for safety. And that's our main reason for being there. Therefore, if an airline such as Fly Jamaica Airways, quickly growing as such we did, as soon as we start increasing our fleet, anytime we buy or purchase or add another aircraft to our fleet, we will definitely be looking to expand our flight attendant body.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this. No more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more. No more crime.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Our women are the backbone of our society. They deserve to be protected and respected. Domestic violence is not okay. Speak up and speak out. No more violence against women. The eyebrows shape the human face and give definition to one's eyes and forehead. Since the growth of the makeup industry, people spend more time getting it right. This week we look at eyebrows, not just how to get them on fleek, but also how to take care of them. Welcome to The Good Life, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
And thanks for having us. So today we're talking about eyebrows. Why are the eyebrows such an important part of the makeup process?
Well, the eyebrows help to frame the face. So you find sometimes if the eyebrow is off, it tends to alter the shape of the face. It's good to have them looking like sisters and not twins. Sometimes, there's hair missing, or, people go to the barber or the salon and they tend to mess it up.
When doing eyebrows, what issues usually come to the forefront? Or what issues do customers usually come in with?
The biggest issue is thin eyebrows. I find that persons who go to the barber, they tend to thin out the eyebrows, and that's not a trend right now. The trend now is to have full, thick eyebrows. Right. So that is the main issue. You tend to go along with the natural shape of the brow, but it can be enhanced. Okay. So you fill in accordingly.
On my own, feeling confused, I'm slightly amused by it all. I'm wavy, you have no control. My mind is blossoming lately. You think you're the wave, I beg to differ. I inherited the wave.
Okay, so what are some tips in regards to picking colors to match your brows?
Well, it depends on the look that you're going for. Some people tend to like a lighter brow. Some people like a darker brow. So it really depends on the mood and the look that you're going for. For a daytime look, I would suggest a lighter brow, probably 1 or 2 shades lighter. That can be achieved by using a brow gel, or you can also use a lighter powder or a pencil. Okay. For the nighttime, you can go a little bit darker, because you might be sweating and so on, so you want the eyebrows to still be there.
So you didn't trim or tweeze my eyebrows prior to filling them in. Is that something that you normally do, or you just leave it up to the client to groom their own eyebrows?
I usually ask the clients to come with a clean brow because personally I've had bad experiences with makeup artists. In my experience, they fill in the eyebrows first and then they decide to take out what is left. So when I went home, I didn't have any eyebrows left when I was mad. So I usually tell persons to go to the regular eyebrow specialist, have it done before you come to me.
What about those people who don't tweeze or wax and have more of a natural eyebrow, literally where they don't touch it?
An eyebrow can be created for everybody, whether it's full, thick, thin. So it really doesn't matter.
Talk to us about the steps when, filling in and highlighting your eyebrows. How do you go about doing that?
Okay, first, I tend to analyze the brow to see where it needs filling in and how I'm going to approach it, if I'm going to use a powder or if I'm going to use a gel. So for Amita, she has thick brows. So first we start to comb through. We comb upwards and then we go across. And then the angle brush, and we use it with a powder. And we started to fill in the areas that needed powder. Following the natural arch right through. Adding a little tail because at the end here she doesn't have a lot of hair, so we just added a little tail to finish it off. Sometimes if you use a powder or the pencil, sometimes too much product comes off. So what we use is a spoolie to just brush through, just to ensure that everything is even. After that, we used a flat brush with a concealer, two shades lighter than your complexion, to give a little highlight under the brow and to also clean up, because sometimes we get a little carried away with the line. So we use the angle brush and we move along the bottom line of the brow, and then we blend it out. You can use your finger or a blending brush to just blend out the product. Above the brow is optional. Sometimes I see people out on the road with this white halo above the brow. I don't think that's very attractive. So what I tend to use is foundation, or I use the gel liner at the top with the same angle brush to just fill in accordingly. And we can brush through again with the spoolie. Like I said, if you want a lighter brow, you can use a brow gel, or you can leave it.
So it seems like, there are a few steps involved and a few different products. How time consuming is, doing your eyebrows?
I would say that eyebrows take probably 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. I see persons watching YouTube videos, etc., but it really comes down to practice. It shouldn't take longer than 10 minutes. Not a lot of products are involved. So yeah, 10 minutes should be good enough.
'Cause I'm whipping it like I'm cocaine, leaning oh so far. I'm over the limit, can't stop it, I'm soaring, I'm leaning up, laughing, I'm going under 'cause
Well, that's one technique to get your eyebrows on fleek. When we come back, we will check out another growing eyebrow trend.
It's season 12, and Wealth Magazine Business Access is here to keep you business savvy. With an impressive mix of some of Jamaica's most inspiring business moguls, we continue to keep Jamaica informed, empowered, and ready to dominate. Tune in Sundays at 5 p.m. only on BATV.
You're watching
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to The Good Life. Well-groomed eyebrows can work wonders to the face. Here are some interesting facts on how to take care of them. It's the slowest growing hair on the human body. Protein-rich foods such as tofu and nuts strengthen the hair in your eyebrow. Washing the face with warm water after tweezing is not advised, especially if you have thin eyebrows, as hair follicles might loosen and fall out. We've already looked at using makeup for the brows on fleek effect. Now check out another new and effective trend for eyebrows.
I'm Tali Davis. I'm a licensed esthetician and the owner of the Lash Studio. Microblading is the newest trend for eyebrows. It involves using a pen-like device dipped in ink and then stroked into the skin. So you create hair-like strokes into the skin. With the tattoo, the normal tattoo, they use a machine. They just do one thing. It's like one line in the brow. And by the time you're finished, it's like a dark mass on the eyebrow. But with the microblading, it looks so natural. You can't tell which is your hair or which is strokes that were made into the skin. The microblading lasts 12 to 18 months. I think it is fairly new. It is around 2 years old, and it is mostly practiced in the States, in America, and in the European countries. It is hardly known in the Caribbean, to be honest, and it's really difficult getting it out there and for people to understand what it really is, because even when you explain it to them, they tend to not, go and do further research for themselves to get better understanding.
It is important to note that persons who have skin diseases like alopecia or hair loss from scars or chemotherapy, over plucking or thinning eyebrows may also be desirous to try the technique. Talia explains, though, that in Jamaica, the trend is mainly for beauty purposes.
One would desire to do microblading when they have, for example, they want a little more arched their brows. And for those who want to fully reconstruct their brows, like they're totally unhappy with the way it is. For those who have gaps in their brows, they can cover it with microblading as well, so it looks really natural. And for those who just don't have the time to get up every morning and draw on the brows with pencil or filling it with brow powder, it is best for the people who aren't really in tune with the whole makeup thing. The best advantage of getting your brows microbladed is that you wake up every morning feeling beautiful. You don't have to do anything. And I think personally it is boyfriend or husband proof, because they don't really like the whole fake thing, the whole drawing enough brows, and so doing something that looks really natural is accepted by them. Doing the procedure, sometimes it does get a bit painful. Even though the person is numbed at least 30 minutes before the procedure, it will get a little painful for the client. And he or she, they don't want to do it anymore, because I've had a client once who came in and I did like 3 strokes in her brows, and she said that she can't manage it. I'm like, you just need to relax. It's gonna look great because the strokes look so great on her skin already. And she was like, no, she can't do this, and she have to go and check with her dermatologist if it's right for her. And I think having patience is one of the biggest things for me. And then it is having the whole artsy thing. You have to know how to draw the strokes. Like, not everybody, I have seen other microblading pictures and the strokes aren't natural looking. Even though you have the pen and you know that the stroke shouldn't be too long and shouldn't be too short, some people just still don't know how to draw strokes to make them look natural. Biggest disadvantage of getting your brows microbladed is getting it performed by somebody who is not certified in the area, because you have to be certified in knowing proper sanitation. I mean, you're using needles into somebody's skin. You have to know that you have to change the needles. Each needle is single use, and the whole art of it, how you draw the stroke should not be too deep into the skin, because that can cause it to bruise and not heal properly. And somebody who's not trained wouldn't know that, you understand? Another reason, another disadvantage is that doing microblading, the stroke should not cross. And if they cross, that can cause infection. So each stroke should be to themselves, nothing should be touching. The cost is just one set price. Yes, it is one set price. Many a times people come in and they say that they only want ends, and if I can give them a discount because it's just the ends they want. And the answer is going to be no, because it's one set price, and the products itself, the inks and the pens and the numbing cream especially, they're expensive. So I have to just deal with one price. It doesn't matter how many strokes I put in, and it doesn't matter if you have no brows or if you have a lot of brows. It's just one set price. It's $25,000.
And that's the cost of beauty. Microblading, to be specific. Stay tuned to see the process of getting your eyebrows embroidered. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Career Moves has always explored interesting careers, highlighting all you may not have known about them. This season is no different.
Coming back to Jamaica, everyone's like, Fizzy what? Fizzy who?
When you find a bright boy or girl in the class and people say, what are you going to be? The parents will say, you have to go be a doctor, you have to go be a lawyer. Nobody says you have to go be a politician.
Let me see your hands!
Tune in Tuesdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV. Welcome back to The Good Life.
When a person calls for a microblading appointment, I usually do follow-up questions. I ask if they're pregnant, because pregnant ladies are not suitable for this procedure. I ask if they have keloid skin, because keloid skin bruise easily. I usually ask if they're using any blood thinners, example aspirin, because aspirin allows the blood to run more easily. And I usually advise them about the pain that they may feel as well, because it's not guaranteed that you won't feel no pain at all. And I let them know that this is a procedure where the results are semi-permanent and next week it won't go away. So if it's a case where I do the procedure and you don't like it, then you will have to wait at least 6 months before it really starts to fade. Even though I've never done a client and they don't like their brows. All my clients love their brows. First 30 minutes they're numbed with one numbing cream, and then after the first numbing they're numbed a second time with another numbing cream. And the numbing creams are usually really, really expensive. During the procedure, equipments that are used are the stainless steel pen, and the pen is about this tall, long, and there are needles at the end. So the needles are in a straight line, they're really small. And I use the inks. The inks are organic inks. It doesn't necessarily mean that plants are used to make these inks. It just means that the chemicals, the products that are used in it aren't as strong as the ones that are used to do normal tattoos. And the ink is one of the reasons why it is not considered to be permanent, because the ink is organic. So after a while it fades, and using the needles, the needle isn't pressed too deeply into the skin, so that is why it fades as well. Now that I've told you a few important things that you need to know about microblading, let's have a look at the procedure. As you can see, we already drew the outline for the brows, and the client has to light them before we can even continue. So this is the shape that she says that she likes. Little arch and nice and full. They won't be this full though, but this is basically the outline that we're working with today. Are you ready, Jody? I'm going to make one stroke, right?
Stroke after stroke after stroke may cause the client to bleed. This is normal, and a certified technician would still be able to continue to achieve the desired results.
So as you can see, these are the strokes that were created in our skin. Natural looking. It feels tender, right? Stiff. Helps with the tenderness. And it's good with healing, but it's not really, doesn't work well with the ink for everyday use. So my aftercare tip is that my client uses coconut oil, organic coconut oil, for the brows, or nothing at all. My aftercare tip for my clients is that they try not to pencil their brows until a week later, and to use raw organic coconut oil. The follow-ups are done 4 to 6 weeks later. The brows take at least 25 to 30 days to heal, and that is why we do the follow-ups on the 5th or the 6th week. After this procedure, you can expect swelling. For some persons, it depends on the skin type, or you can see redness, and it lasts like an hour to 2 hours after the procedure. After the brows are done, they're yours, and you can take a picture, a selfie at the same time. Clients usually see scalping at least a week after, and many call and say, oh, it's healing, but when the scalps are coming off, it looks like it's fading. It usually fades at that time, but it will get brighter as the weeks go by. As I've said, the cost for microblading is $25,000. And as you can see, I use inks, I use stainless steel pen. The inks are usually $40 to $60 US or euro as well. And the numbing cream is from $80 to $100 US. And I have to get a big one and a small one. So the small ones are $80 and the bigger numbing cream will come up to like $120 or so. The cost is justifiable. The products aren't sold in Jamaica. We have to order them online, and then shipping is a next cost as well. So I think it's reasonable. It's very reasonable because in the States, the cost for microblading is like $800 to $1,000 US, and in Jamaica it's $25,000. And we are using the same products as the pro microbladers in the States and in the European countries, and getting the same results as well. Yes.
The procedure wasn't that bad, honestly. There was a little pain. The most is like hearing it being done, so then you get frightened within. You say like, okay, yes, it's being done, but it really wasn't that bad. Now I don't have to buy pencils and concealers and tweezers and all those stuff to like keep it on point. So now I just have to wake up, put a little powder and go. Beauty comes with pain, and you have to go through a little pain to be in the know. It's worth it.
Long as the beauty industry continues to thrive, there will be those who try to feel their best by looking their best, whether it's by using makeup or a more permanent fix. Getting the eyebrows on fleek is to many a big accomplishment. And you've watched The Good Life.
Now presenting the Jamaica Social Investment Fund ICDP Enterprise Development Project. Entrepreneurial Grant Business Pitch.
This project is a $100 million grant that's seeking to target 50 small and micro business enterprises and give them training, capacity development, equipment, permits and license towards the development and the viability of their business. We have made a call for proposal in March of this year for entrepreneurs to submit for the opportunity to receive a grant between $1 and $5 million. We received more than 500 applications, and so we have now shortlisted them to 100. So we've invited that top 100 applicants here today, and they're going to have to pitch their business idea to a panel, and of the 150 will actually transpire and win the opportunity for the grants. One of the primary objectives of what we're doing here is employment. We want the business to be able to sustain not only the principals as the owners, but we also want the business to be able to employ at least 2 people. The next part of it, as we do in all of our projects like this, is it provides a learning instrument of how we can engage small and micro enterprises and take them to the next level.
Why we're doing this rigorous process because we want to identify the best potential entrepreneurs for this project. And keep in mind that we are speaking about a loan, so we want to ensure that the applicants are committed, and that from a sustainability point of view, that upon receiving the support from JSIP, that in 2 or 3 years the enterprises will still be operational and the broader objective of the project would be achieved. Once we have now equipped them and they should be ready to start their production and going, we'll then have a mentorship component.
It has been a very competitive process. Jamaica is filled with persons with drive and passion. We're expecting that the best will be selected, and then for those who are not successful, we are also hoping to link them to other providers of services, because I'm telling you today, from what I've seen, it is an excellent, excellent, excellent opportunity. It's worthy of note that many persons coming here today already have some kind of semblance of a business, but they need the additional support to move that business to the other level, as well as some persons that come in with just proposals to start from scratch. On behalf of the JSIF, we want to really thank the DBJ and other partners from UWI who came to be part of the panel, and just to remind you that the JSIF is here and we're investing for community development.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters. Call us at 876-618-2870 or email us at sales@batvja.com.